Ayanna here. Once again, we are talking with Duquesa Dean. I call her Superwoman. I've been doing it now for every woman because she is amazing. So far, we've been discussing women going into business, women having the wherewithal, the confidence, the esteem to step out on their own. We've discussed having a plan. We've discussed all sorts of strategies. If you want to refresh yourself, go back to some of the other segments, and I'm sure that you will get what you need if your plan is to work for yourself one day. But we want to start this segment with something you said when we were closing last time. You said that there was something traumatic that happened in your life, and you went to your inner circle.
Yes.
Everybody is not your friend, are they?
No.
No.
Absolutely.
We've got to separate the friends from the acquaintances,
yes,
from the business persons,
yes,
and be able to, I guess, categorize them, specifically when you're about to step out and do something
yes,
new in your own life.
Yes.
I talked to you guys, my viewers, about my table. I have three ladies and myself. We call ourselves the table. We get together once a month. We discuss plans. We discuss dreams, what's going on. And I find that it bolstered me in times of trauma.
Nice.
It bolsters me now in times of doing this because this is something new.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly how important is support?
Support is extremely important. The right type of support
Okay.
is extremely important as an entrepreneur. There are times when we need people to remind us of who we are.
Okay.
And I actually have someone in my inner circle who is really good at that.
Okay.
That you have to remember that you are a child of God and you're called to do what He's purposed for you to do.
Yes.
Because sometimes we get lost in the everyday, and if things aren't going the way that we want, it could get a little discouraging. And so just having that person remind you. In my circle as well, I have people who will pull the weight for me if I am unable to. And that's also very important because in situations where, like today, I did training and now I'm here with you. I'm extremely introverted. And so this is going to take me at least 2 days to recover from.
Wow.
And so limited people interaction
Yes.
is what will have to happen for the next 2 days. And so usually my support kicks in. They would do my phone calls. They would touch bases with me and remind me of important things because sometimes I really tap out.
Okay.
So it's good to have people who you know can have your back to that extent. Sometimes I hit a rail road. I hit a rail block, and this inner circle is able to give creative ideas to say, have you considered this? Have you thought about this? And being open to having that feedback because you know that these people are vested in your vision. They buy into it and they want to see it happen. Makes it so much easier. You don't have to carry the weight of it alone. So that support is important. One of the things that I looked forward to early when I stepped out was support from my family. I looked forward to having my family automatically buy into what I was doing, and that didn't happen. I had some family members who were gung-ho, who have been there at every single thing that I've done. They've been present. I have a handful of them. There are others who on the sidelines will shout, hey, good job, but they won't get so involved. And I used to be bothered by that again until my coach guided me through that process. In that, to them, you're just family. You're just Donnie, and that's what they call me.
Okay.
So they don't see you outside of that label. Like, you're doing a good work, but to them, hey, you're just Donnie. And so those who push you, you take that.
Yes.
And those who just see you as an average family member, you take that. And don't be disappointed by that because you need different things from them in any event. I found the support of coaches and mentors really helped me a lot too. As an inexperienced person at first, when I came out to be a motivational speaker and a trainer, very few people wanted to support me. I reached out to quite a number of people who were out there already doing it because I thought that by reaching out to them, they could help me navigate my path. And it was only of maybe 10 people, only one person actually responded and gave me an opportunity. And so that support, that first opportunity was something that helped to catapult me as well. I also realized, though, that collaborations can be tricky as well. And last year, one of the things that my coach said to me is that she doesn't collaborate. One of the things that she doesn't do is collaborate. It's her brand. It is her vision. She has people that work on her team, but collaborations are so tricky. And so to own my own brand, I can attend and support and participate in different events with people, but not necessarily collaborate on
With them.
events
Yes.
unless there are clear-cut rules and boundaries as to who is responsible for what. Everything is outlined, and you have a legal contract as well.
Okay.
So support is important, and it comes in different forms and fashion.
I sort of get, I don't know, I get sort of angry when I talk about support. I've grown to the point now where I'm good about it. But even when I first started this talk show, I reached out to persons who I thought would, just lie in the rails. You understand? Girl, sure, no
Right.
problem. And one by one, every single one of them just shot me down.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat back and I was like, okay, God, I know that I've been there for people in the past. So I know you're going to provide
Yes.
persons to talk to. One of the things I want to speak to, especially to someone who may not be getting the support that they think they deserve, is not to quit.
Yes.
Don't give up. Don't think that it's you. Like Duquesa said, you have to understand that even in your circle, even in your connections, there are persons who are going to, purposefully join themselves to you in support. And then there are others who are going to sit back and watch you succeed. But you cannot not step out if that is your desire, because you're waiting on people to support you. I did that. And it took me a long, long time to catch myself. Ayanna here could have happened years ago. But I was waiting for someone to pat me on my shoulder and say, you know what, you can do this. And no one did.
Yeah.
And so one day I had to wake up and say, you know what, Ayanna, you can do this.
Yes.
And I became,
greatest
yes,
cheerleader.
my greatest
Yes.
cheerleader. I'm not at the place yet where I don't have any insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of knowing who I am and understanding that this is what God wants me to do, oh, I'm way up there.
Great.
You understand?
Great.
Because I find that in the situation where you don't have support, you have to lean on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then that takes us back to the confidence and the self-esteem part of it.
Yeah.
Understanding who you are, understanding who God wants you to be. When you have a vision for your life, when you have a vision of where you want that life to go, what you want that life to be like, you cannot allow lack of support to stop it. Yes, there are going to be times when things are very lean. Paul says, I learned to be abased and bound.
Yeah.
You understand? But in all of that, he still maintained his purpose.
Yeah.
He still maintained the idea that he wanted to go out there and do what it is God called him to do. I don't know if it's hair. I don't know if it's singing. I don't know if it's acting. I don't know if it's politics. Whatever it is. If you feel that that is where God is leading you, then don't wait for support to do it. Begin speaking to yourself. David says he encouraged himself in the Lord.
Yeah.
You understand? There's going to come a point where support is very, very lean. That doesn't mean that you shrink back and stop what it is that God wants to do in your life. It just means that you maybe, come to a little pause, take a comma. I'm an English teacher. So you take a little comma and then you move right along. Am I speaking sense?
Yes. And there are two things that I want to share. The first thing is, I think it was Maya Angelou who said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. And so as we look to get external support, when people show us that they're not interested in giving us the type of support that we want, accept that. Accept that that is what it is. We each have a tribe.
Yes.
And there are people who will willingly come on board and support us and help us to spread the word and to live out that purpose. So we have to accept. Boy, listen, the very first time someone unsubscribed from my weekly newsletter, I was so hurt. I felt so rejected. Yeah. Wow. I called my coach. I said, "Coach, you wouldn't believe somebody just unsubscribed." How could they do that, right? She's like, "Well, Duquesa, that's good." I was like, "How could that be good?" She's like, "Well, you don't have to waste your time on that person because you know you can't reach them."
Wow.
And I was like, okay, talk about perspective, right?
Yes.
So this is someone who doesn't want to be a part of your tribe. You no longer have to extend energy to try to get them there because they've clearly said to you, I don't want to be there.
Wow. Tell me something. What is perhaps the most important lesson? I know that was a very important lesson that you learned. And we all have lessons as entrepreneurs that we learn daily. What was the most important one for you so far?
I think that it would be where God guides, He provides. And I want to explain that. some point in my life, I questioned why I had the experiences.
Okay.
Right? I questioned why, as a teenager, I had people who were responsible for nurturing me, trying to take advantage of me, who wanted to sexually molest me, but I was preserved.
Yes.
I had a situation where my marriage fell apart. I had a situation where my great-grandmother died and I felt abandoned as a child. I worked on jobs that I was so unhappy about. I had low self-esteem. I mean, I had so many issues, and I questioned God as to why. And my entrepreneur journey has clearly shown me the why. The why was or is, I needed all of that to happen in order to live the purpose that I am.
Preach to me now.
Because of those situations and events, because of all of that, I'm now able to identify trauma. I'm now able to connect with people with it. I'm now able to help people who are struggling with depression and suicide. I'm able to help young people with the various transitions as they get rocky. I'm now able to use the purpose to make a living. And so one of the greatest lessons that I've gotten is no experience is garbage.
Wow.
Every experience has something that we can take from it, and we can use that thing to make the future better. And whether that's in doing hair or nails, you are a therapist. You're talking to people. You're dealing with people. They say the hair salon and the bar, they're the places where you're a therapist. And so your life experiences come into play and help to make provision for you as well. So that's been a real eye-opener for me. And the fact that it is a process. Every single time that I said, God, I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage this month, He showed up.
Wow.
And so that has helped me. I don't even stress. I mean, I like, listen, the 23rd coming, and I know you coming with that. So I don't even take it on no more. I used to worry about it, and I was like, you're either going to worry about it or you're going to have faith that the journey He's asked you to go on, He will make provision for you. And doors open for me in order for me to meet my bills. So I've learned to really trust the process.
Wow. That's amazing that you said that. My testimony is something different. Faith was never my issue. Never. I always knew that God would take care of me. And I say this audibly, I say it publicly, God has taken care of me my entire life. There were times when we had to get clothes from Goodwill, they fit.
Yes.
There were times when I could not throw food away. I think I shared that with some of my, some kids that I spoke to at Aubrey Sales just a few weeks ago. I could not throw food in the garbage. When it was like, no, because you don't know where the next meal is coming from, you will not throw it away. And so faith for me has never been an issue. My biggest lesson, I think, would be learning to speak to myself positively because of all the naysaying that went on around me. About 2 years ago, I sat down with a leader, telling them about what I wanted to do moving forward with my own life. And I told them, I said, well, okay, these are the things that I've accomplished. They may be meager, but I want to do something with them. And listen to me carefully. The leader told me, the person told me that I was arm candy.
Oh. Oh, you just a pretty girl.
I was like, what? You understand? I got up from that meeting determined more than ever to make my mark.
Yeah.
Because I may be a lot of things, but I'm no one's arm candy.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, I surely
And
do.
I just couldn't fathom that you would tell someone who wanted to make a positive impact that they were less than that.
Yeah.
You understand? And so I found myself beginning to talk more to young women, more to young men, because we judge them
Yes.
based on what we see.
Yeah.
I've worked with some of the most beautiful young ladies in the world. I'm talking about these young girls come to me and they are beautiful. One in particular, I had to sit her down and tell her, look here, baby, you are more. Maya Angelou says, I think it is Maya Angelou who says you're more than the shape of your thighs, your hips, you're more than the sway of whatever curves you have. You have a brain, you have a personality. Use that positively. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, I think that's one of the major lessons you have to learn. That you have to go beyond what people say about you. You have to go beyond what they think about you. You have to go beyond some of the traumatic experiences that you have had. And you have to be able to not just self-soothe. I'm not looking for self-soothe. What is it that I'm looking for? You have to be able to speak.
To cheer yourself. You have to be able to. You have to be able to speak into yourself and to motivate yourself. I think a powerful lesson that kind of helped me through was when I was working with a particular coach. She asked me to write out all of the things that I said to myself negatively. So I never really believed that I was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, when I stood in the mirror, I didn't see beauty looking back at me. So she made me like write out a list of things that I told myself. And when I wrote those things out, she said, okay, they're the lies. Now I need you to match it with the truth. And so put the truth next to each one of them. And every day you tell yourself the truth to overcome the lie that you're saying to yourself. We're always going to deal with negativity. We're always going to deal with that negative self-talk, the doubt. We're going to deal with that. No matter how high we get, no matter the pinnacle of our success, we're always going to question. And so it's extremely important to learn how to talk back to yourself. My dad used to tell me all the time when I want to have intelligent conversation, talk to myself. And I said, this man crazy. But I mean, sometimes I do it. Sometimes I talk to myself, and sometimes I answer myself back as well.
Wow.
We have to talk to ourselves.
That's amazing. I think that this has perhaps been one of the most interesting conversations that I have ever had. I thought we were just going to talk about entrepreneurship, talk about getting into business, talk about just stepping out there, saving your money, getting a business plan, but it's been so much more, because I really believe that the viewers are going to really be affected by this. And that's one of the goals of the Ayanna Here Talk Show. One of my purposes is to give smaller voices a platform.
Yeah.
One of my purposes is to give maybe the unsung heroes like yourself a way to show themselves to the world in such a vulnerable and authentic way that persons believe they can do it too.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. Please, can you give us some of your maybe social media?
It's all Duquesa Dean.
Okay.
So everything, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything is Duquesa Dean. So if you were to Google that, you would find everything. DuquesaDean.com is my website.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for watching another installment of Ayanna Here. It has been a pleasure. God bless you.
Take care.